Welcome to Over the Edge podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Rankin. In this week's episode, we're going to be talking about stepping out of the smallness of you and embracing what I like to call your magic, your essence, your very being. So, what does that mean, stepping out of the smallness? Well, I'm going to pose a few questions to you. First, do you find that you don't boast about your accomplishments in life, that you actually will take a back seat to your very own goals for the sake of others feeling better? Do you think that you're a people pleaser? Do you find yourself looking at your goals, knowing that you can accomplish them, but you might self-sabotage? So if you're doing some of those things, you may be playing it small in life. You may not be embracing your true nature, which is a go-getter, a goal setter, a very driven person who can get a lot of things done, but often finds themselves at the center of judgment of others, where others may project judgment upon them. And that is only because they themselves are not choosing it. So I'd like to look at the idea of, what your magic is. And that's what I'm going to ask you to delve into and really embrace during this podcast, is embracing your magic. What is the essence, the energy, the charisma, the magic that makes you, you? You see, it's all about authenticity. Is about the energy of, you know that you are capable of great things. You know that you can accomplish great things. And yet there are times when you find yourself playing it small just because you don't want to upset the status quo, or you're afraid of receiving judgment from others, or, that you are afraid of your own success. That's something to think about there. Is sometimes we get afraid of just how successful we can be in our ideas and our businesses and just in life and general relationships. We get scared of that. And so we will either self-sabotage or we will not follow through on things to make it smaller so it stays in that comfort zone. Now, you've probably heard me say complacency kills, right? So complacency kills dreams. It kills the possibility of growth and of future possibilities and outcomes. So during this podcast, I'm going to ask you to really look at the magic of you. You, the individual being, not you, the family unit, you, the business leader, you, the worker, you, the spouse, you, the what? No, look at the magic of you and ask yourself, if I weren't playing it small, what would my life look like? What would my life look like if I allowed myself to operate from the very authentic core that I be? And what could that create for my future? And sit in that energy for a moment, because it feels good. It probably feels really good. It feels expansive. It feels light. It feels like you don't have reference points. And that's because your magical self doesn't like to play it small. If anything, I can guarantee that those who are listening to this have huge dreams. They want to move mountains. You want to do, create, and be these leaders in the world. Leaders in your own life, leaders in the community. You want to create such magical experiences, not only for yourself, but for others. And darlings, you can't do that if you were playing it small in life. So I would like for this podcast to be an empowerment movement. I would like for this to be a milestone, I want to say, for your personal development, to where you listen to my podcast and you go, okay, this is what, yes, that resonates. Let me move forward. That was like a milestone. Now I can move forward. What's next? What's next? What's next? It's that building. But it all starts with you unlocking your magic. It all starts with you recognizing that there are times when you just absolutely cannot play it small in life. And that comes with, with great risk often comes great reward. And you never know if you're staying behind the comfort zone, and you never know what's going to create more for you unless you take a leap of faith. And sometimes that leap of faith is that leap of faith in yourself. So playing it small may have its advantages sometimes. Sometimes it may have advantages. There are times when you have to sit back and observe. But really, is sitting back and observing, let's question that. Is that really the playing it small, or is that playing it smart? There comes a time, though, when the players have to get on the field, so to speak, or they have to get on the court. They have to move the ball. There comes a time when you have to be both the coach and the player. And that is when you start learning. You're the coach of your own life. We can look to others to mentor us and to kind of give us guidance, but ultimately we have to take the action. We have to go from being coach to player, from player to coach, and learn to when to discern between the two. So when we start playing the game of life, and sometimes that's how we have to look at this, is that life is just a game. It's like we get to decide what we want to play, what we want to play with and who we want to play with in life. We get to decide the game of experience. What experience would we like to have? And it is kind of like mapping out a game, and if you're always wanting to play it small, don't expect the game to be big. Don't expect to be in the big leagues if you're always going to play it small. If you want more money in your life, one, don't focus on the lack of, because that's only going to invite more lack, more poverty. Be willing to play it big. Be willing to receive big. If you have customers and clients, and you've only built this small little base of clients and customers around you, if that is what you are focusing on and you're not focusing on the growth, it's never going to grow. It doesn't mean that you neglect the clients that you have. It means you add to them. You add value to your client base, your customer base. If you're focusing on money, you have to be willing to break out of that comfort zone and be willing to have more. Also, you guys, money circulates, okay? Money is an energy source. It does not like to be stagnant. It likes to circulate. So be mindful of what you are circulating it with, what energy sources you are circulating it with. Is it something that's going to value the money? Is it something that's going to add value to your life? Is it something that's going to build to your life or build to your business? Those are the questions. Does it bring you happiness also? Don't circulate the energy of money in things that bring you misery. Okay, so this is a whole, it goes beyond just a way of thinking. It actually goes into a way of living, a way of being. So breaking beyond the smallness, letting go of the smallness in your life also goes into the ideology, the thoughts that run through your head, the energy that runs through your heart. Your heart center plays a major role in the life that you are living. I have this saying, and I love this saying, and it's something I came across a few years ago. It's, you cannot do epic shit with basic people. It's the same thing. You cannot do epic shit with basic energy. You have to be willing to go big. And going big does not mean, that you have to be so extravagant and over the edge. Although for some of you, that's what your energy is. So you embrace that. But for me, going big is setting goals and being driven and going after it relentlessly. And it's also acknowledging if something doesn't work, of taking the risk and switching it up and pivoting, because we've talked about pivoting, right? Switching and pivoting and moving it into a new direction where the energy flows. So perhaps let's talk about that. Let's talk about the energy of flow. So I touched base on money and how money is an energy source and it flows. And when you're operating from the heart center and it feels good and you feel good about things and you're thinking positive thoughts, that the money and the resources and the people just flow. They just flow in your life. So energy sources, that's all that this is. Y'all, we are nothing but energy bodies, energy sources. We are walking magicians, okay? I want you to own that. I want you to own that you are the magician of your life. You are the magic that makes everything happen, whether it's good or bad. So focus your energy on being empowered. Focus your energy on uplifting yourself so that your energy radiates out and it uplifts others just by you being your authentic self. That's playing it big. You being true to you allows others to be true to themselves. And that creates greater for everyone. So I want to touch back on being a people pleaser. Now, we've covered that in previous podcasts, where being a people pleaser sometimes goes against your grain. Yes, it feels good to give, but do not give to the point to where it totally depletes you so much that you're not able to give to yourself. This is what we call boundaries, healthy boundaries. So learning to break away and setting healthy boundaries allows you to gift more to yourself. It allows you to also to receive more from the universe, because everything is connected. The universe is no small place, right? The universe is not this little minuscule thing that, that you can put into a nice little jar. And even though that there are universes within that jar, but the universe is so expansive and it's constantly growing and expanding. And, the science of space has just proven over and over and over how the universe is constantly expanding in every single moment. New stars are born, planets are found, there's multiverses out there. There's universes that kind of in galaxies that back into our galaxies and they work together. So let's kind of look at a broader perspective here. If you are the magician of your life and you're not playing it small anymore, and that you are the size of the galaxies, right? Of multiple galaxies even. And that you can coexist with other galaxies and it works and there's energies. So what can you create with others that will allow you to step out of the smallness or allow you to step out of your comfort zones, that will push you to create greater, to expand? And there's this energy of, we have to be an allowance for that to happen, for that to occur. One, you have to be an allowance of you. You have to be in the allowance of what you can receive. And sometimes, we've talked about this before, about how receiving, I grew up in the South. So, we give a lot. At least in, in my growing up, it's like I grew up in like my parents, my grandparents, like give, right? The communities that they give. And that's what I grew up with. So when someone tried to give me or gift me something, I had a hard time receiving it because I grew up in where you just give, you give everything away, you give it, you give it, you give it, which, it taught me really the gift of giving. And yet I had a hard time learning to receive. So anytime that someone would try to gift me something, my ability to receive that was almost shut down. It was like, oh, no, that's okay. You didn't have to do that. No, please. It's okay. You didn't have to gift this to me, but thank you. And it kind of instills that there's a wrongness in them trying to gift to me. And I look at that now from a very, I can look at it from like a third party. Like I can step back beyond it and go, wow, I wasn't allowing them the capacity to gift to me through my lack of being able to receive. So now when someone gifts something to me, whether, it's a napkin or, or if it's money or if it's a birthday gift or whether it's just a service or something that they've done for me, I really open up my heart space and say, thank you. Thank you for gifting that to me, because you guys, that is also a smallness as well that I have personally had to work on. And I'm still working on that of overcoming, is being able to receive what others are willing to gift to me. And that was just because I thought I always had to give. And, I look at that and I go, okay, I need to learn to receive. And perhaps there are some of you out there who can relate to that, is that you're a very giving person, but you might have a hard time receiving. Well, this is about balance. I think that we have come into an era where we are being asked to balance both, to both give and receive. And when we do that, we're able to create more, not only for ourselves, but for others as well. And it's breaking out of that smallness of a mindset. And sometimes that's a belief. There were times when I would have an adult go, oh no, like I would have something gifted to me and someone would go, oh no, that's okay. Make sure that you tell them that, that you're grateful for that. And I was like, yes, I am. I'm very grateful for this, but don't make it a wrongness. Sometimes other people make it a wrongness of you receiving something. And that is on them, not you, right? Because that they aren't willing to see you receive something. That's a projected judgment. And so I'm going to ask the question is, where have we allowed ourselves to receive the judgment of others before we can receive the gift from others? And so when we look at it in that perspective, this may be an eye opener or, a heart opener or a mind expansion for some of us, is that, that we've allowed the judgment to be received and denied the gift. Sometimes, y'all, and I'm going to be blunt, sometimes we have to say, fuck the judgment of others. Because that is blocking you from your growth. That is blocking you from your capacity to receive from the universe and from yourself and from others. Because there are so many more people who want to see you succeed than there are those who want to destroy your success. And those who want to destroy your success are usually jealous because they're not willing to choose it for themselves. They're not willing to break out of the smallness of themselves, so they will judge the fuck out of you. That is where you and I get to discern what it is that we want in life, who we choose to keep in our circle. And I am imploring you to choose those who help build you up and who will receive your energy. Now, some of you may be going, well, I want everyone to like me. Well, stop being a fucking people pleaser, okay? Because not everyone is going to like you. I don't care what you do. You could expend all of your energy in this lifetime of trying to get everyone to like you, and it will be wasted energy. Because there will always be someone who is not for you. It is up to you to discern how much energy you expend on that. You know, are you willing to, here's a great question. Are you willing to step out of the smallness of you by stepping out of the smallness of others? You know, if you want to level your life up, you have to be willing to level up your circle. You have to be willing to walk away from people. And that's hard sometimes because, you know, you want to have this whole emotional tie to people and you want people to feel good, but at what expense? Like, how drained do you have to be? Because I'm going to say it, some people are just energy vampires. Some people only want to be around you for how you make them feel, not for what you get from it either. It's a one-way street with some people. You know, like, have you ever been around people and you're just like, holy fuck, I am so drained. I am so tired because when I'm around them, all they do is just suck energy from me. I have those people. I've cut those people out. They get less and less and less of my time until they get none of my time. That's a kindness to me. You know, and when you start looking at what is a kindness to you, you're able to create greater for yourself. You know, sometimes a kindness to you is meditation, being with your energy. Sometimes a kindness to you is being around others, having that joy. What brings light to you? What feels light to you? You know, this is the whole concept of, you know, what feels light and what feels heavy is a great way to kind of weigh these two energies, so to speak. And a lot of that falls back onto your intuition, your gut instinct, right? If someone feels good to your energy source, then the energy is going to flow. It's going to feel light. There's going to be the sense of, you can talk about anything and everything, or you could just sit in complete silence with one another and it feels good. That there doesn't have to be this projection of always having to fulfill the other person because you are both fulfilled, or you as a group are fulfilled. And that's a whole tribe thing, right? Is that your tribe doesn't have to be, you know, those who you were born with, right? Those that family gene pool that you were born into. It could actually be those soul groups that you are drawn to, that you all feel so good and you pump each other up and you're motivating one another and you're finding so much joy in just being yourself with these people. That's home. That's home. You know, I could go into a whole nother spin here about the energy of, you know, of longing for, you know, there's those who long to feel connected to others, to a like-mindedness, you know, like there's this longing out there. But when you find those people, and, you know, they could be from different walks of life. They come from different backgrounds. You know, when they feel like home and it's reciprocated, when it's reciprocated and the energy flows both ways, that's when you're going to start doing great things. It doesn't matter, who has money, where they came from, where they grew up, how they grew up. That what matters is energy. Tapping into your magic, being your authentic self, allowing others to be drawn to that, who are they themselves authentic, who flow from their authentic being. Wow, you guys, the magic that can be created. That's when you have a magician working with a magician, working with a magician, working with magicians, and you are creating magic in the universe. That is stepping out of the smallness. That's stepping out of the judgment. That's stepping out of all the projections and the beliefs and the ideologies that were forced upon you growing up or even into adulthood. That's embracing the power that you be. Be willing to be seen as well. This was something that I struggled with personally, and I'm still working through, is allowing myself to be seen for me. Allowing myself and my voice to be heard. This is the real me. What you get in these podcasts, this is me. This is the energy that I be. This is me saying I'm putting myself out there to the world. Because those who will resonate and those who need to hear this, it will find them because they are asking for it. And I'm making myself available to be seen and heard and to be part of their growth experience. So when we find that there's this connection that happens with others, it's usually because we're allowing our true selves to be seen. So don't be afraid of that. Allow yourself to be seen. Because, darlings, all of you are fucking magical. And you have so much good and so much epic things to do in this lifetime. Don't allow the smallness of society or the smallness of this world to crush your dreams, your aspirations, your energy. Allow yourself to flow and to be seen and to be heard and to create wonderful, wonderful, magical things. So I'm going to end it on that note. I hope that you all have a wonderful, empowering week. I hope that you all find joy in everything that you do. And until next time, stay magical.